Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really close look at something fundamental, a distinction that pops up a lot in the materials our learners share. This difference between a rich mindset and, well, a poor mindset.
Yeah, and it's so important right off the bat to clarify. This isn't really about money in the bank, not about financial wealth at all.
Right.
It's about something, much deeper, a way of thinking, really. It touches how we approach learning, growth, setbacks, basically how we live day to day.
Exactly. So our mission here is to unpack these two mindsets. We want to look at how they shape attitudes towards things like discomfort, goals, and especially learning. We're using the sources as our guide, of course.
And the hope is that understanding this might genuinely shift how you, the listener, see your own potential for growth.
Okay, so where do we start? Let's look at that initial reaction. When things get uncomfortable, you're learning something new, maybe starting a project, and it just gets hard. How do people respond?
Well, this is like the first big fork in the road, isn't it? The poor mindset, the one rooted in scarcity, it tends to, run away from that feeling.
Discomfort equals bad.
Pretty much. As soon as it feels difficult, requires real effort, that discomfort is seen as a warning sign, a signal to maybe step back, or even just quit altogether.
But the rich mindset, the growth perspective, it reads that signal completely differently.
Totally differently. It understands that discomfort isn't a stop sign. It's actually feedback. It means you're pushing your boundaries, challenging yourself.
Yeah.
It's just part of the process.
It's like that analogy, the gym analogy for your mind. Growth can hurt a bit,
Exactly.
but that feeling, that strain, it means you're building something stronger. You're creating new capacity.
Right. And our sources even connect this to, neuroplasticity. When you lean into that mental friction, you're literally forging stronger connections in your brain. The effort is the building process.
Which needs consistency, right?
Yeah.
That's often the harder part. I remember reading about that online English teacher.
Oh, yeah, the personal story.
Yeah, early on, struggling with lessons, tech issues, maybe just not connecting sometimes. But the key was they didn't just throw their hands up.
No. The mindset was something like, okay, this is tough, but if I want to improve, I have to keep showing up. And importantly, analyzing what went wrong.
That persistence through the stumbles, that seems core.
It really is, and that ties right into the whole idea of learning itself. The fixed mindset often sees learning as this finite thing. You finish school, get the degree, and, well, that's it, education done.
Check the box.
But the rich mindset, it's driven by this constant curiosity. Learning never really stops. And crucially, the focus is much more on acquiring actual skills than just collecting titles.
Skills you can use versus just a line on a resume.
Precisely. Building a toolkit, not just a trophy case.
Okay, so let's talk about that anecdote, the one with the two friends working at the same company. That illustrates this really well.
It does. So friend one, their main focus was always the paycheck. Always calculating their market value, jumping jobs mostly for a salary bump.
Which, on the surface, sounds like a strategy.
It can seem that way. But often it was more about running from challenges or just grabbing the immediate cash rather than building something deeper.
Okay, and friend two.
Friend two had more of that growth mindset, maybe started at a lower salary even, but really invested time in understanding the whole picture, how the business actually worked, the finances, the operations, sales, everything.
So learning the system, not just the job description.
Exactly. Prioritizing understanding and skill over the immediate reward and the long-term result.
Well, friend two, the one who built that deep skill base, their career trajectory was much steeper in the long run.
Exponentially faster because they built a solid foundation. So if you boil it down, the poor mindset asks, what's the pay for this task?
And the rich mindset asks,
what can I learn here? What skill can I master? It's like, are you collecting coins you'll just spend, or are you forging a tool you can use forever? Big difference.
That's a great way to put it. And it leads nicely into the next point. What happens after you use those skills and maybe get some success, earn some rewards? How do you handle that?
Yeah.
Investment versus spending.
Ah, yes, the appearance trap. This trips up a lot of people. The scarcity mindset works hard, makes some money, and boom, the first instinct is often to buy things that look successful.
The shiny objects, new phone, fancy clothes, maybe a car.
Right. Chasing the appearance of success.
Okay, but hang on. Sometimes looking the part is important professionally, isn't it? Like needing a good suit for certain jobs. How do we square that?
That's a fair point and a really important nuance. A strategic presentation like, yes, investing in professional attire, if it genuinely helps you in high-stakes situations, that can absolutely be part of a growth mindset. It's an investment in your career.
So what's the difference then?
It's the why behind it.
Hmm?
Is the poor mindset buying things mainly to sort of patch up feelings of inadequacy? To feel validated right now, they're thinking, I worked hard, I deserve this status symbol.
Okay, so it's more about external validation or immediate gratification.
Exactly. Whereas the rich mindset filters that purchase through a different lens. Well, will this generate more value for me later, more time, more growth? They're less swayed by the immediate dopamine hit.
So they're thinking future return. Let me build something solid that takes care of me down the road instead of just buying something flashy today.
Perfectly put. And you know that metaphor from the sources we looked at.
The flowers in the tree.
Yeah. The poor mindset buys the fake flowers. Bright for a moment, look nice, but they fade fast. No real value.
And the rich mindset.
Plants a tree. Takes time, takes patience, needs nurturing. But over time, it grows strong, provides shade, maybe bears fruit. It delivers lasting value.
And this isn't just about money, right? We need to stress that. This applies to how you invest your time too.
Absolutely critical point. Listeners should really ask themselves, am I investing my time in things that actually grow me? Reading, learning a skill, building relationships? Or is it mostly going towards things that just distract or entertain temporarily?
Building rich habits, essentially. That choice, that deliberate allocation of time and energy, that's a core part of this growth framework.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about fear and risk. This is a big one.
Huge. Because fear, well, everyone feels it. It doesn't matter how smart or successful you are.
It's universal. But how fear influences your decisions, that's where the mindsets really diverge. The fixed, poor mindset often lets fear call the shots.
Being in action.
Often, yeah. Fear leads to paralysis, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for certainty that never comes.
While the rich mindset acknowledges the fear.
Acknowledges it, feels it, but doesn't let it drive the bus. They manage it. You know, like the advice in books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad often highlights feel the fear and do it anyway.
They almost use it as a compass. Like, if this feels scary, it probably means it's important, it's stretching me.
Exactly. It's an indicator you're heading towards growth, not a signal to retreat.
Yeah, I can definitely relate. Thinking about starting this deep dive series. I mean, the fear of putting it out there, what if people hate it? What if the analysis is wrong? It was pretty intense.
Sure. Natural reaction.
But the insight from the material is so true. The fear doesn't just vanish when you get good at something.
Yeah.
It maybe gets smaller or you learn how to handle it. It stops being a paralyzing monster and becomes more like a demanding teacher.
That's such a crucial realization for anyone trying to grow. We often think we need confidence before we can act. People wait thinking, I'll do it when I feel ready.
Which could be never.
Right. But the truth is, it's the doing the practice, even messy, imperfect practice, that actually builds the confidence. The rich mindset gets this. Taking one small step, any step, is way better than standing still waiting for perfect.
And that waiting for perfect. It ties into the time horizon too, doesn't it? The poor mindset often wants results now. Quick wins.
Instant gratification, yeah. They're looking for the shortcut, the overnight success. Doesn't usually work that way.
Whereas the rich mindset understands it's a long game.
They embrace patience. They know that anything truly worthwhile takes time and consistent effort. Think about building a house you don't get to move in after laying one brick.
Right. Or learning a language. You're not fluent after 1 week of Duolingo.
Exactly. It requires steady, often small, daily effort, not just big, dramatic bursts that you can't sustain.
So the person operating from scarcity might quit early, saying, see, it's not working. I put in effort last week and nothing happened.
But the growth mindset understands that the results are often building up silently under the surface. Progress isn't always visible immediately. It grows quietly before it becomes obvious.
Okay, that leads us to maybe the most fundamental difference. Responsibility.
Ownership.
Yes, this is huge. It really separates the dreamers from the doers. The scarcity mindset often defaults to external blame when things go sideways.
It wasn't my fault. The timing was bad. The system's unfair.
All those refrains. It feels protective maybe in the moment, but it leaves you powerless.
Because if it's always someone else's fault, there's nothing you can do. Precisely. Now, contrast that with the rich mindset. When something doesn't work out, the immediate internal question is different. It's, okay, what part did I play in this? What decision could I have made differently? What can I learn for next time?
Taking radical responsibility, even if external factors were involved.
Even then. Because you can't control the external factors, but you can control your response, your learning, your next move. Remember that story about the entrepreneur who missed out on funding?
Yeah, initially it was all about blaming market conditions, difficult partners.
Right, and that blame, it didn't change anything. It didn't move the needle forward.
This shift happened when they stopped blaming and started analyzing their own preparation, their own approach.
Exactly. The realization was, okay, I can't control the market, but I can control how prepared I am, how I present, how I follow up. That's taking control back.
That's the pivot point. The poor mindset kind of waits for luck and complains when it doesn't show up.
While the rich mindset understands, you largely create your own look through preparation, persistence, and taking responsibility instead of making excuses.
And that act of taking ownership, it's incredibly empowering, isn't it? You stop being reactive, waiting for the world to change for you.
And you start being the change. You become the agent in your own life, your own career. It's a massive shift in personal power.
Okay, so that brings us to the final, perhaps most profound difference. What happens after you've achieved some growth, some stability? Where does the focus go?
This is where it gets really interesting. The poor mindset often continues asking, what more can I get? How can I accumulate more for myself? The focus stays inward on taking.
But the rich mindset,
It flips the script. The question becomes, what can I give? What can I contribute?
moving from just personal gain to contributing to something bigger.
Exactly. It's understanding that true growth, lasting fulfillment, often comes from sharing. Sharing knowledge, mentoring others, contributing your skills or resources. There's this realization that giving actually expands your own world.
It shifts the focus from competition. How do I beat others?
To contribution. How can we build something together? It's incredibly freeing, actually.
Freeing how?
Well, it dissolves that constant need to compare yourself to others. If your focus is on contributing, on lifting others up, you stop seeing peers as threats.
You see them as potential partners instead.
Partners in growth. The scarcity view is zero-sum. If you win, I lose. But the contribution mindset is positive-sum. Your success doesn't diminish mine. In fact, if you win, maybe we all win in some way.
That's a powerful reframe. So real wealth isn't just about what you have.
No, ultimately, it's about the positive impact you create. How much good you bring into the world through what you share and contribute.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a journey we've covered, from handling discomfort all the way to contribution. So the rich mindset, as we've explored it based on these sources, it's really a whole way of thinking, isn't it?
It's a framework, yeah, for how you show up, how you face challenges, how you learn, how you interact. Built on managing fear, taking
Yeah.
ownership, focusing on skills, playing the long game.
And understanding that discomfort is often the price of admission for growth.
Exactly. And it's important to remember, this shift doesn't happen instantly. It's not a switch you flip.
It's a practice.
It's a practice. Every big change starts small. One different thought, one new habit you stick with, one small, brave step forward, even if it feels imperfect. The change begins the moment you decide to take control of your mindset.
So thinking about that final point, about contribution, about how sharing knowledge actually enriches everyone, including yourself. Like the idea that lighting another candle doesn't dim your own flame. We want to leave you, the listener, with a thought, a challenge maybe. What specific skill or piece of insight or bit of knowledge, maybe something you think is too small or not polished enough, what are you holding back right now?
Something you could share with someone else, maybe this week.
Yeah, just try it. Share something you've learned, help someone else understand something better, and just notice. Notice how that act of giving might actually deepen your own understanding and enrich your own perspective. Give it a try.
Keep learning, keep growing, keep showing up.
Absolutely. We'll see you for the next deep dive.